Howdy, howdy, people. Nathan's got a beer. He's a happy chap. Sam's not a fan of Greg Clark. Ruben has been waiting for this one. Last bit of glory for Aussie rugby. True. Last trophy anyway. The big V8 shows early. Good man. Contemplating a castle, but since it's 11 a.m. coffee is probably the better choice, bro. Give it an hour. The stream's going to go for over an hour. You can crack one open. You can definitely crack one open. LeRon, how's it going? Ultimate Cleveland Browns fan. We're in 1080p tonight. So, my one's on 720. Let's switch that to 1080. Get that going. Taz shirt. Yeah. It's a Taz shirt. Nathan's already cracked one open also in the morning. Why not, man? Why not? Kickoff is at 1:23. If it's only a minute, we can probably watch the pre-match stuff. Hey, how is it going, Thurmond? How's my work been? Yes, I'm still working from home. They're not sending us back till the end of July. So, yeah. It's all right. Like, my desk at work is definitely nicer than what I work on at home. And I've got two screens at work, whereas I've got a little laptop here. So it's not the best, but again, can't complain. I'll be live in a couple of minutes. I was a bit late today getting set up, but still made it just on time. My day was all right, Ruben. The colleague who's supposed to look after the guys with me, he called in sick, so it was a little bit busy, but other than that, I talked to him on the phone. He sounded horrible. How's it going, Rugby Opinion? As long as you don't watch any of the Super Rugby Lions finals. Maybe the one where Quaka gets red-carded? Gotta say, out of your options on YouTube, two options were 360p, one was 1080p. So you went with the one with 1080p. Yes. Tom, how's it going? Right, let's get cracking, man. It's already 2 minutes after the time I said I'd get going. So link is in the description. Full replay, 2014 Super Rugby Final, Waratahs Crusaders. It's an hour and 24, which leads me to believe they have cut out some of the fluff. But, yeah, let's get going, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Taken 19 years, but the Waratahs are going to host the Super Rugby Final. Crusaders deserved this final, got robbed by the ref at the end. Didn't the ref admit he got this one wrong? Todd Blackadder couldn't quite get that title, eh? Favorite rugby team, Super Rugby and National. Blues, All Blacks. That one was actually a pretty simple one. Man, Slade at 10, Carter at 12. Reed's at 8. He's Captain McCaw's at 6. I don't remember that at all. Don't remember that lineup whatsoever. Could be level 1 next week. Nov Mum, Jasmine. Yes, that'd be nice. I might just have to get me some tickets to go see some Super Rugby if we're allowed. It sounds promising. Hooper at 7. Ashley Cooper's at outside centre. Falau's at fullback. The Iceman's at 10. Nice crowd. Can you do we win it? I didn't choose it, man. I let my people on Patreon choose from 3 options. I had one option where the Crusaders beat the Hurricanes in the fog, and people didn't choose it. All right, kickoffs just happened with 10 seconds in crisp 1080p. Yeah, the penalty against Richie was never a penalty. I think I've heard them talk about that before. Seems to try to speed up the game, favour the attackers. Indeed. World Rugby's always tinkering with stuff as well to get more of that happening too. Although, man, if you want fast, just look at those games from 87, 91. Certainly pretty quick. It's quite nice on the eye, isn't it? A team in a light blue against quite a bright red. Blue and red, man. Classic colors. Kickoff has already happened. I am a minute into the stream, to the kickoff, to the game. Jacques Pocket is there. And the Tars have just won a penalty. Mark claims to be a blues man, but he's such a good rugby man, I can't help but suspect he's a closet Bulls man. Whoa. They've already kicked the penalty, 3-0. They cut out any prep for kick stuff. Okay. 3-0 Tars, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I got a soft spot for the Bulls, even though I said they were the ones, South African Super Rugby team I ranked lowest. In recent times, they've been in hard times, So just that Bull side that won those titles was pretty horrendous to play against. This is the game that got the Wallabies landed with Michael Checker. Well, that was Ewan McKenzie. That turmoil, wasn't it? That was a bit of drama that Aussie Rugby didn't need. Drama seems to follow Aussie Rugby around a bit, doesn't it? Mark's a Springbok variant low key. I've definitely got a soft spot for the box as well. Line out turnover. Falau. Man, the Tars have certainly started pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. What time is it on the game clock? At the minute, it's 3 minutes and 40 seconds. The Tars have got the ball on the 10-meter line, and they got advantage. Man, the Tars have definitely started the better of the two teams. They are on fire. Whoa, what a try. 4 minutes in. And AAC goes over. Oh, two dads. Look at that crowd. You used to support the Blues. Come on. I remember this game vividly. Sometimes it's the bad ones that you do remember vividly, huh? Man, that gap was just too big for AAC. Yeah, they can't leave him that. He just walked straight through it. Just between Crotty and was that Whitelock? This was when Checker's strategy of running rugby actually worked. I remember this one kind of clearly. Was Checker's, was it his second season in charge? Like, this is the season after he just wouldn't let them kick, hey? They played like a whole season where they just wouldn't ever kick. They just ran everything. And then by the second season, they kind of got the kicking out of their system and he allowed them to kick a bit. What do you think of Oz potentially hosting the Rugby Championship? Oh, off the post. 5:30 on the game clock. I want the Rugby Championship to get underway. Right now, I'd say New Zealand should be hosting it more than Australia because we don't have any new cases. We haven't had any new cases for like 11 days. Australia had like 17 today. So bring it here, man. I'll go. I'll take some footage for you guys if I'm allowed. You're not supposed to take game footage, but you know what I mean. Two dads with the cannonball. Some of the Aussie guys have got great nicknames. That's true. I'm a bandwagon Crusaders fan. That's the worst kind, man. Don't do it. It's like being a Manchester United fan 10, 15 years ago. You just read about Dan Carter supposedly signing up with the Blues. That's got to be a joke. You've already got Bowden Barrett, Teddy Black, Harry Plummer. As a coach? Surely, not as a player, right? It's the first I've heard of it. Tell me more. Man, it's still all Tars. What's the possession like at the minute? Must be like 70-30. Ever so slightly in the Crusaders half. New Zealand will go level 1 if fans can be at the Super Rugby games. Yeah, mate. I'm already looking forward to a trip to Eden Park to see them play. See Bowden in that Blues jersey. Won't that be nice? 7 minutes 30. It's still all Tars, but they've knocked it on. If you can, you should get a beer called Devil's Peak. You've just tried it and you're enjoying it. Well, because I knew it was an Aussie game, I had to look for some Aussie beers, but the only one that I could find in my local bottle shop was Cooper's Brewery Original Pale Ale. It's Australian made. I think it's from South Australia. South Australia. So it's not really appropriate for this game. It's cold. Look at that. Look at that. Understood Carter's lined up to join Leon McDonald, the Blues for starters as a player mentor, while the 23-year-old first five student Peter Feta is recovering from his. I haven't forgot about Peter Feta. Come on, man. We don't need him. Sorry, Dan. We don't need you. We've got too many first fives as it is. Advantage. Whose hand was that? I think one of the Crusaders guys slapped it down. Penalty. 9 minutes gone. Yeah, it's a good brew. I'm glad. Jacques Pocketa now plays club rugby at a local Pretoria club. Had much higher expectations when he came back to South Africa. He kind of fizzled out, didn't he? I don't remember much about him since he left the Tars. Where did he go? Was it the Bulls? Foley's just kicked the penalty. It's 11-0. They are scoring more than a point a minute. They have had the first 10 minutes pretty much all to themselves. Hey, Big Will, game has started. The game clock is at 10 minutes, 33 seconds, and the Tars are flying. It's 11-0. YouTube clock is 10 minutes, pretty much. And for some reason, my stream has just crapped itself. And I'm back. Oh, man. How's this connection? Because my stream's a bit ordinary. Roasting me for being a Man United fan too. I'm not a bandwagon fan. I have legit reasons. Connection's good. Okay. Just my stream is just really stuttery. Okay, good to hear. It's just me with the game is just slow. Can you do a match day vlog when you go to games? I have done them before. The main thing about the match day vlogs is you got to be careful not to get music in the background. Like if you're at the stadium, they blast the music and the music is actually copyrighted music. So if I upload it to YouTube, I can get in trouble if like YouTube's algorithm picks up that I'm using copyrighted music. That's the only thing I got to be careful of. But yeah, I don't mind doing the old match day vlog. Good to hear the stream's fine on your end. It's just, yeah, the game, it's good now, but it was stuttery before. So I'm at 12 minutes, 11-0 still. I remember this game fondly. I won $1,000 on my Super Brew that year. Needed the Tars to win by 1. No way. How did you win $1,000? I feel like you've said this before, but I can't remember what the deal was. If you support Liverpool, you're a bandwagon fan. Bro, I supported Liverpool when I moved to China in 2005. Admittedly, they had just won the Champions League, but they've not been like exactly winning the Premier League every season. So, yeah, anyway, cheers, guys. It's a decent-sized bottle of beer. I didn't even bring a glass. No class. Straight from the bottle. What's your opinion of South African teams from Super Rugby potentially joining the Pro 14? I know the time zone thing is a big factor. It would work a lot better for the time zones, but yeah, it'd make that competition pretty hefty, wouldn't it? I'd miss the South African teams, that's for sure. What do you think of Super Rugby double-header games? That could work. That could be like an innovation that they do. Whatever gets things going for the fans, I guess. I can start ignoring my family in a couple of weeks. The person who came first in the Super comp won $1,000. We all chipped in for the comp. I literally needed them to win by no more than 3 points to win it. My stream's just crapped itself again, so I'm going to refresh it. What is the deal? Maybe I open a new window or try a different browser. Maybe I should try Edge. Microsoft's trying to bribe me into using Edge, to be honest. They said I can get points. Points if I use Edge. Marty Libok has joined the Sharks. I do remember somebody mentioning that. Yeah, somebody mentioned it. Man, at this rate, I'm going to end up watching the game on my phone. All right, I'm literally going to watch on my phone until this sorts itself out. This is different. For some reason, my stream on the computer is slow as it's like dial-up speed. Phone's looking fine. That's the game. Contact Sports in South Africa got the green light to start training again. I think I read that as well, actually. Yeah, that's good news all round. How are things going in South Africa at the moment in terms of new cases? All right, the TV's decided to work again. I might be a little bit behind you guys now. Nadolo just got tackled on the halfway line. It's game clock 15:40 for me. Careful, you just showed us the game. If the YouTube like copyright protection thing can pick up this on this, then I probably deserve a copyright strike. I know, right? A 1,000 new cases a day. Holy moly. That's scary numbers, but you guys live in a massive country compared to little old New Zealand. So I think we had 1,000 something cases all up, like 1,400. But we're a little island at the bottom of the world, so it's 5 million people. It's a big difference. Damn, your Cooper's a long neck. I don't know. It's a 750ml bottle. I didn't bring glass, so it is what it is. Oof. "17 minutes and 10 seconds. It's a bit helter-skelter at the minute. Slade with the offload to Reed with the pass. Here we go. Adam Ashley Cooper could not stop Matt Todd. Crusaders are on the board at 17 and a half minutes. It's 14-5. Hello from Timaru. How's it going? YouTube is so trash nowadays. Legit play 1 second of a song and boom, copyright. Yeah, that's what Squidge got done by Sky Sports. Like, I've only had it happen to me once from the other point of view. Like, if you have a channel, look at Todd go. He's never had that much space in his life. He was never looking to pass that, was he? AAC kind of hangs his head slightly in shame. What was I saying? If you've got a channel, you've got a tab you can click called copyright, and it lets you know if anyone's used your content. I've only had it once, and it was someone during the World Cup who legit just uploaded my whole video, so I claimed it, and they removed it. But I don't think it gave them a copyright strike. It was kind of a please take it down, and they did. You're at 19 minutes. I'm slightly behind you, 18:40. Mr. Rugby fan, how's it going? Cooper stepped by a flanker, indeed. Darnell, how's the new job going? DC, he squeezed it in there. 14-7. Game on. Oh, Palu's off. What happened to him? Oh, headbutt. Must have got a head knock. Chicken Wings is a fan of the Waratahs jersey. Yeah, something about, I mentioned it before, something about the blue against the red is a really good look. You can see where the fans are in the stadium. It's just slick. Going good. I go back early tomorrow because I got a meeting. Oh, meetings. Meetings are the bane of my existence, bro. I spend half my day in meetings. Not really. Not since we've been in lockdown. I don't go to all of them. But Tars have just won a penalty on 20 minutes. Yeah, I feel like meetings often waste a bit of time unless they're productive ones, which they're often not, at least where I work. Was he off his feet? I couldn't quite see. Thoughts on the red card subs that New Zealand is going to use? It's one thing that I've always thought they should try. So I'm kind of keen to see how it goes. Anytime you make a rule change, there's always an unintended consequence. So it might be that you see someone do something legit horrendous. Like, remember that Italy tackle against South Africa in the World Cup where two guys picked up somebody, forget who they picked up, and just dumped him on his neck? Like almost like an old school spear tackle. Like nobody should really be coming back. Well, nobody should be getting replaced after they do that kind of thing. So if that happens, that might cause a bit of debate. Penalty to the Tars, 17-7. But yeah, for those ones where a guy's going for the high ball, it's a bit clumsy. The guy lands awkwardly and he gets red carded. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the games. You can see they've definitely jigged it to make sure the entertainment value is as high as possible. They don't want any games ruined by red cards because they've got this chance with the world spotlight is on our rugby. They really want to make the most of it. I think that's why they did it. When I was in a telco, I was flown to Adelaide to Sydney to attend a meeting. It took 11 minutes and legitimately only set a date for next meeting. Bro, I feel that pain. I never had to do it by traveling, but I do go to a fair few meetings where I sit there kind of bemused as to why I'm there and then leave. They picked up Vermeulen, right. Yeah, it was pretty dumb. That's like the most blatant, obvious, nobody argues about it red card. Looking forward to sudden death. Yeah, I suppose that'll be interesting, although I guess we don't see that many draws, but it'll be interesting to see if any games go that way. The derby matches are usually pretty close, so you never know. Is there an orange card coming? World Rugby's given people the option to use an orange card, but I think everybody thus far has turned it down, maybe because they can't be asked printing off orange cards. A few guys, I did a video about that, a few guys in the comments actually mentioned, instead of making a new card, why don't you just make it mandatory that the TMO reviews every yellow card anyway? That would make more sense. Mandatory review. I have another 15 minutes before a math class and a geo class back to back. Life is hard, man. I'm having a beer and watching rugby, so sorry. But I used to have maths and geography classes. I was always better at geography. Why are you watching a New Zealand team lose? The people on Patreon had the choice and chose this one. What can I say? It absolves me of any guilt. 24 and a half minutes, and the Crusaders have definitely stemmed that early flow of the Waratahs kind of punch. They're mauling it up. In your meeting could be an email. It should be an email. I can't even stand the emails these days, to be honest. My organization just recently started using Microsoft Teams, and that's I prefer that to emails, to be honest. That's reduced my email load, which is pleasant because I'm slack at reading my emails. But yeah. The Italian tackle wasn't even a tackle, it was attempted murder. Yeah, I didn't hear anyone complaining about that tackle, man, at the World Cup on Vermeulen. It was like usually red cards are at least partially contentious, but that one was legit universal acceptance. Your latest video, you have impeccable handwriting. I take it you're being sarcastic because my handwriting is atrocious. And I know that. even in primary school, I was always in the lowest group for anything handwriting related, man. My teachers tried to get my handwriting improved, but I was like, the quicker I can get the stuff on paper, the sooner I can faff about. So I'm not going to write nicely. I'm going to write quickly. It also means I've got my almost own little code because nobody really knows what I've written. Tars is still looking dangerous, man. This is a big difference from the Tars team of today. You frequent Zoom meetings. Yeah. Yeah, we got lots of Zoom meetings at work. It sucks. We also use Teams for those as well. Love that shirt. I'm a Tars fan. You already know I would be able to sell me that shirt for $34, bro. I bought this shirt from Australia. Ooh, Carter looks a bit ginger. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was probably more than $34. Alan Marlowe is going to be a superstar. His defense is probably the only thing that he needs to work on, but he's a good player. Somebody's told me he's got a really bad attitude, but I don't know. I never met him. Must be a male thing. My husband's handwriting is atrocious. What's funny is when I was in primary school, like they only really grouped you into like 3 groups. And for most of the stuff, I was in the good group, right? The kids who behaved themselves and got on with their work. But I had terrible handwriting. And my best mate, I mean, he's a nice guy, but he was dumb as something really dumb. But man, his handwriting was so good. If you were to look at our handwriting, you'd be like, that guy's the smart one. He's the dumb one. And then you'd read it and go, ooh, maybe not. I'm still mates with him. He's still my best mate. He lives just up the road from me. And he's not dumb. I shouldn't say that. He's just not good at the academic stuff. Street stuff, he's good as gold. I should put that into context. Can Akira still make the ABs? I doubt it, man. I don't think it's going to happen. Was your mate Samoan? Nah, he's a Pakeha guy. If you're smart, you usually have bad handwriting. Okay. I'll take that. Tim, hope work's going good, mate. We are watching Super Rugby to warm up for some soon-to-be Super Rugby. Almost half an hour into this one. 29 minutes and 30 seconds. 17-10 to the Tars. Slowed down a bit at the moment. We're not far from live streaming actual rugby, says Sam. Very true. Not straight. From the line out. Yeah, how good is that going to be, man? They're going to make a decision next week here in New Zealand as to whether we go down another lockdown restriction. And if they do, then we should be able to get tickets to the games. All right, Tim. Catch you Saturday, man. Carter is going off. What a time to get an injury, eh? Akira is lazy, in my opinion, especially with the clean out and the breakdown. You might get a solid 20, 30 minutes, and that's it. Rico is getting to be that way too. That seems to be the problem. The All Blacks coaching staff reckon he's lazy. So, yeah, what are you supposed to do? Carter gone, indeed. What do you think of the new All Black coach? He wasn't the sexy pick, mate. He was the conservative pick. I think I would have gone with Robertson, but give the man a chance. He hasn't had a game in charge yet, so we'll judge him on his performances. I mean, I still remember when Steve Hansen got appointed coach, and my dad was livid. He was like, he sucks. It's all been Graham Henry. He's not going to get anywhere. And then I think Steve Hansen was all right. He had a pretty good record, eh? Weird to see Israel Folau still playing. Bro, he's a great player. It's just, yeah, it's just a pity the way that went down. I'd never heard of him before he came to Union, but my Aussie mate, I was living in China at the time, he said to me when we were picking our fantasy teams, we were playing Fox Sports Super Rugby Fantasy, and he'd put Israel Folau in his team, and he's like, this guy, I reckon this guy's going to be good. So he was right. How do you get that good at anything being lazy? I know. True enough. Are you going to watch G-Man's stream on Saturday? The one with Squidge. From memory, it's on at a pretty horrible time for New Zealand. If it is, well, what time is it on? If it's on at a horrible time, I probably won't get up to watch it, but I'll watch the replay. Do you speak Mandarin or Cantonese? Bit of a random one. Mandarin, for the most part. And I can speak a little bit of my wife's hometown's dialect as well, which is kind of like derived of Mandarin. So, yeah. Akira lacks passion and drive. It's one thing that I've seen about Falau's just kicked it out on the full. Why he didn't play in the AFL, I guess, for very long. All of the guys who achieved like top greatness, who've had some kind of film made about them, or documentary, excuse me, Richie McCaw, Johnny Wilkinson, Dan Carter. When I've seen people talk about them, like their childhood coaches, they all said, like, man, that guy was such a determined kid. Like, he would just keep practicing. He was so hard on himself, always wanted to practice more and do more running and always wanted to be better and la, la, la. Like, I feel like you could probably be, like, talented with determination will get you further than just, like, super talented with no determination. You know what I mean? If you really push yourself, man, you'll get so much further than just being naturally gifted. You've really got to harness it. The children bilingual. The children mostly speak English because of the environment here, but we still try to get them up to speed in their Chinese. Sailors have kicked a penalty. It's 17-13. So 30 points in the first half thus far. It's been pretty high scoring if quite a few penalties. Hey, hola. How's things in Dunedin? That Jordan documentary on Netflix, Jordan was obviously talented but insanely driven. I haven't seen that. Everybody's talking about that. Is it any good? We are at 36 minutes and 30 seconds on the game clock, which is 35 minutes and 26 seconds on the YouTube clock. Man, Falau taking a high ball in slow motion. It's pretty good. All right, take it easy, Liam. Thoughts on South African teams? Do you think they will increase New Zealand-Australia game? I think it decrease it. What are your thoughts on South African teams? You mean if there's no South African teams? I mean, obviously that makes it easier for everyone's time zone, but it does take away that unique aspect of Super Rugby, which is that feared trip to South Africa or vice versa, trip to New Zealand kind of thing. Australia. Foley's just kind of kicked a flat penalty on 37.5 to make it 20 points to 13. RIP Sione Lawake. He super talented, just lazy. Yeah. Some of those guys, man. Oh, Greg was at this game. Man, lucky man. Must have been a good atmosphere because the crowd looks pretty packed. Have to watch The Last Dance. Pretty amazing. Okay, I'll have to watch it. I keep seeing it referred to so many places. Like, I keep seeing interviews with people. What have you been doing during lockdown? I watched The Last Dance. It was amazing. I watched it. It was amazing. At first, the first time somebody said that, I thought it was like a musical. I was like, oh, that's interesting that rugby player would be interested in a musical. But no, it's not a musical, is it? Oh, turnover. Here goes the Crusaders. Whitelock's isolated. And the Tars have turned them over. So the Waratahs have told their players to start looking for other clubs. Yeah, I'm not sure if they've told them to look for other clubs permanently or just for this season, but they've basically said you ain't going to get any work. So, yeah, do it. I think Boffelli is the first guy to be rumoured with a move. Feels strange seeing Carter at 12 and McCaw at 6. I agree. Two New Zealand legends, both kind of in their secondary positions. Tarzan won another penalty. What is the penalty count? I feel like it's favouring the Tars. If you're looking for sports stuff on Netflix, that series about Sunderland is worth a watch too. But go for The Last Dance first. Sunderland, aren't they called like the Black Cats? They were that team that always bounced up and down between championship and premiership every other season. Sione Lawake had the worst hands as a natural talent as he was. He had too many errors in his game. But boy, was he good when he had the ball in his hands if he didn't drop it. Big ball runner. Next stoppage, and we'll be at halftime, people. 20 points to 17. Tars line out, and the Crusaders have stolen it. And then they've knocked it on. Either way, halftime. The Sunderland series just gets more and more depressing. Ugh. I mean, it doesn't seem to be easy work being a Sunderland fan, to be honest. They've gone through a few coaches. They've had some good players, but man, it's always up and down. As long as they beat Newcastle, I think they're pretty happy. Second half's underway. I reckon today you could play the AB's 10 bloody 2 right now and beat the Tars. Yeah, the current Tars team is not the best, mate. They've had a fair bit of a player drain, haven't they? Did you see Rassi give Squidge a shout out? Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, Squidge, boy, does that guy know his rugby. He sees stuff. I saw him interviewed by Rugby Pass. By what's that guy's name? Jim Hamilton. And he did say he watches games like 3 or 4 times. My stream's just crapped itself again. Oh, there it goes. It's come back at about 360p. I was going to say 240p. It's not quite the final in the fog, but it's not 1080p. So Squidge watches games like 3 or 4 times. I like to think if I watched games 3 or 4 times, I would have some insights like he does, but no way near that level. I generally just watch the game once, get my first impression, maybe read some stats, and relate that to what happened in the game. But that guy is like next level understanding, sees the tactics. Like, so many people used to complain, Faf de Klerk box kicks way too much. And Squidge is like, yeah, but this is the strategy. So that's awesome. Rassi is hilarious. He has exactly 0 people who he follows on Twitter. Indeed. Someone made a joke about that, I think. He's a boss. Those kind of fly on the wall treatments they do on his Twitter are awesome. Fair enough to say I loved Foley at the end of this. Next year was not too happy when he knocked Scotland out in the last minute of the quarters of the penalty that was not a penalty. Well, this game's kind of similar. Same ref, similar kind of dodgy decision. Ugh. I might be back on the phone at this rate. I'm struggling, people. Where are you guys at the game clock? Would you like to do a live stream with Squidge? And when you are and G-Man going to be getting together for a stream? G-Man and I are currently working out a time to do a stream. I'm going to have a chat to him tomorrow about it. So, yeah, put that on the list. For 42 game clock. Okay. 43 YouTube. Oh, it's a try. What have I missed? Nadola. TMO. He's flirting with the sideline. Who's that going for the tackle? Is that Beal? That's going to be try time, surely. Ooh. Maybe not. He didn't get the ball down that first time. I think that foot's in touch and the crowd knows it. Oh, they're giving it. Oh, well, I guess, not definitive. Generally go with the attacking team. Chicken burst in the artery from the coach's box. He knows he's on camera, but he's not afraid to just yell. I saw an interview with him and Andrew Mertens on an Irish kind of talk show, and he seems to have chilled out a bit since he's left the coaching gig. I think Giddo's law should be loosened, but I can see why Rugby Australia don't want to fully loosen all restrictions. I guess you can look at South Africa as an example. They loosened the restrictions and won a World Cup, but they loosened the restrictions and had a massive exodus of players after the World Cup. But, I mean, they weren't the only ones. New Zealand also lost a few players, so did Australia. So it's going to happen either way. Yeah. My mom's finally been able to get back to work. So it's not only my dad who's working in the family. That's good news. That is good news, mate. My missus is back in the office as well. It's just me stuck at home. National side benefits, but Super Rugby doesn't. Indeed. When that one case will be recovered. Yeah, New Zealand's only got one active case of COVID. Some, I think, 50-year-old lady who's had it for like a month. She's not in hospital the last time I checked, but she's still an active case. So once she's recovered, in theory, we should be kind of good to go. Oh, loose ball. Folau had to go. The Folau thing is hard to talk about without offending someone. I mean, when I first read that, I didn't know it was going to get as big as it did. I was just thinking, man, I like a wee drink. Is he saying I'm going to go to hell? Because I remember it mentioned something about drunks, but it went pretty big. Culture that ruins the game here in Australia. A lot of Australian rugby players are more about themselves and how they better themselves as a brand. Yeah, well, who was it? Well, it was Checker again. It was Checker on that Irish radio of that like YouTube show. Maybe it's on the radio as well, off the ball, saying that when you would go to visit schools and stuff, none of the schoolboys would know any of the guys in the Waratahs or the Wallabies unless they were the league guys, the league converts. They would all know. But he mentioned that being related to the fact that the league has more promotional stuff and more free to air. The English will bring Czechia to the 2027 World Cup and try to tell us why he's the best thing ever. Well, man, they took John Mitchell, so you never know what wonders they can work. People are too sensitive these days. The internet, I think, has made people a bit more sensitive than they used to be. That's also true. John Mitchell's a rubbish coach. He's a bit of a funny guy, isn't he? Oh, big scrum Crusaders there. What jersey will be next on your list? Thinking they ought to go on sale. Some places have got jerseys on sale, but man, everything is taking such a long time to get shipped anywhere. We ordered stuff for my daughter's birthday, which was last month, and man, did it arrive late. We ordered something for, was it like Father's Day? And my dad's birthday was in May. My brother's birthday was in May. Mother's Day. Like everything was late, man. The courier services are just inundated with people buying stuff online these days. I just got hit with an ad. Tell me the game clock. I'll be interested to see what game clock you guys are at. I mean, I'm watching at a really low resolution at the moment, so the game clock's not even that clear. It looks like 40. Is that a 48 or a 45? I think 49. Slade's just kicked the penalty on my one. I met Conrad Smith today. What? He's a full-time lawyer. I didn't know he was practicing. I know he was one of the last guys to kind of be able to do rugby and his uni education at the same time. Most of the guys nowadays just have to concentrate on rugby. Would you get an NRL jersey? I don't really follow it. I don't really follow any of the teams, but I do have jerseys from sports other than rugby, or at least I used to. I've only got one left. You're at 52. You're ahead of me because my stream's been kind of crapping out a bit. I'm just approaching 50. Don't know what's wrong with the net tonight, but there you go. Dr. Jamie Roberts, yeah. He's probably a similar age to Conrad Smith as well. It used to be pretty common for the guys to have some kind of outside of rugby thing, but nowadays it's really less so. The free-to-air would help people get more into Super Rugby and rugby union as a whole, get casual fan interested, not just the one who pays for it. I reckon so too, man. Like I mentioned in my video the other day, oh, my resolution's just gone back up. Oh, I can see it clearly. 51-35, and the Tars have just missed a penalty. So the Crusaders are in front 23-20 after being well down at the start of this game. Yeah, I mentioned the other day in the the video about ideas for Super Rugby was to do a free game every week. I stole that. I didn't think of that myself. That's from the NHL. One game every week. Or is it every day? Because they play a ton of games. I think it's week. But they do a free game. Maybe it's day. I mean, you can't pick which game it is, and it's a different team each time, but they put a free game on. So you'll look at that game and maybe you'll enjoy it. And then maybe you'll think about supporting a team. And then maybe you'll start following the sport, buy jerseys and buy paid subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. Supersport are clinging onto sport with all they have. It's the only thing keeping them from going to Netflix. It's the same here with Sky Sport, man. But tell me, is there any way to get Supersport without having DSTV in South Africa? I need that information for a video I'm preparing. Callum Amos is studying medicine. No way. He's another smart cookie then. Foley is lining up another one. I didn't actually remember him missing a couple of kicks in this game because I just remembered the last one, but that one he's got. 23 all. Nope, we need DSTV Premium for Supersport. Right. Oh, and my resolution just dropped down again. I'm back to blurry. It's going. I'm not complaining. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Ruben. I thought that was the case based on their website, but it's just a lot of other companies right now, they give you the TV option, which is the package deal, and then they give you like an online option, which is only the sport. But it doesn't seem that's the case in South Africa. And man, your DSTV is expensive. Ooh, charge down, but no, BL forces it. I think Alan Wynne Jones has a law degree as well. No way. Fukuoka from Japan is going to be a full-time doctor. Yeah, I think I read that as well. In New Zealand, though, no, I don't think any of the guys really go to uni. I don't think. But it used to be really common. Oh, and there goes my stream again. Goodness gracious, what's going on with that? Oh, there it goes. You got KO in New Zealand. We do not have KO. But Sky Sport does offer a online sports-only package. This will be a spoiler from my video, which I'm preparing. But guess how much cheaper it is to get the online package, which is only sports, compared to the TV package, which is like it's not movies, but it's like all the TV channels plus all the sports channels. And it's on your TV, not just online. It's from like terrestrial broadcasting. Guess what the price difference is? $30. Less than $30. I thought KO Sport was like $25. Are you still affiliated with ExpressVPN? I was thinking of getting that and then watching the Rugby Pass for Rugby. I still do stuff with ExpressVPN, although I haven't for a while. But Rugby Pass has blocked all VPNs. You can't get on Rugby Pass with a VPN anymore. If you get Sky Sport along with the TV package, it's like $50 It's like $51.50. $51.50. If you get the sports online package, it's like $49.99. So the difference is $1.50. $1.50. That's the incentive. $1.50. Crusaders have just kicked the penalty. They are back in front. I don't know how far I'm falling behind you guys because my stream is intermittent at best. I can give you all free sport anyway. I don't pay. I know when I lived in China, before Rugby Pass was a thing, because it obviously works in China, because they've mostly got the rights in Asia. I used to use those dodgy streams all the time, but they were pretty hit and miss. You couldn't guarantee the game you wanted to watch would be on, and sometimes the stream would just crap itself. But then I'm watching this one, it's crapping itself too. Do you think that the fact Spark Sport is on the radar, is that the reason Sky did an online service? I reckon. If they didn't have that competition, they would still be in the age of the dinosaurs and just doing the terrestrial TV thing. The fact that they haven't made it virtually, practically any cheaper makes me believe they still don't really get it. Oh, big line break. Tars are on the 22-meter line. Nick Phipp's sister was my son's nurse in the hospital for quite a while. She was hot but looked like her brother. That would be a bit off-putting. There's nothing like raiding dodgy streaming services, desperately trying to search for something. Yeah, you go through those websites, maybe you get some off Reddit, you go through all the links, most of them have like 20 pop-ups. Sometimes they're trying to install crap on your computer. Sometimes the stream works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the commentary is in a random language. Sometimes the quality of the feed is just so crap. Sometimes the stream just stops and starts. Sometimes it's just totally fake. It's not reliable, but I mean, I used to have to do that because in China there was no other option. I would always gladly pay for a reliable, clear service. Tonight's one is an exception. I'm not paying for it, but it's a bit bad. I have a feeling it's more my internet than anything else. But my internet is usually pretty good. I used to use all those sketchy links, but I'd rather $25 a month to watch as live sport. I agree 100%. I would rather pay for it and be reliable than have that nonsense of mucking around with all the dodgy ones. Oh, knock on. Still 26-23 to the Crusaders. I'm approaching the hour mark. All you do is need an ad blocker. Yeah, ad blocker is going to help, but still, like, they're not reliable, at least from my experience. Funny thing about Asian sports bars, when they try and find the game you want, it's a maze of crap, dodgy sites that come up on screen every time. That's an interesting one because I don't know what deal he had, but when I lived in China, I used to, if I watched the games at a bar, it was at a Belgian beer bar. The owner was this big bearded Belgian guy. And he would literally like type in a comment to whoever his service provider was to say, can you change the channel to channel whatever? And then someone would change it for him. So it was like he was paying a dodgy company to give them their feed of whatever channel they were watching. But it was reliable. I don't know how he did it, but it was always on. But he couldn't just change the channel on his remote. He had to get somebody to change it at the back end, somebody abroad. Super Rugby Aotearoa, let's go. Not too far away, mate. Not too far away at all. Let's go the Blues, man. I get pretty salty when I pay for it and it's bad quality, hard to use, full of ads, or anywhere worse than that when I could get it for free. Yeah. That's what I used to like about Rugby Pass when I lived in Asia, was that it was pretty much always good quality, no ads, always available on demand. You could start 5 minutes behind and it would still be fine. It was just always really good. I wish everyone had a service like that, but they don't. Oh, AAC's got another one. Would you look at that? Look at the crowd. They're going ballistic. How many lead changes in this game? 2 or 3? Do you have to set up a company or sole trader for YouTube account? No. I haven't done so. Maybe I should, but I haven't. It just does what it does. Can you even finish that bottle? Bro, it's almost done. I'm trying to nurse it because I've still got a bit of game to go. And I think there might be games on, crowds in the stadiums, Jasmine, if they can go to level 1 next week. So Rugby Pass gives you all the rugby in a place where you don't have to get it on TV. Where you don't get it on TV. Yeah, but I just used to plug my HDMI into the TV. If I had a smart TV, I think I could probably just do it on the TV. But at the time, I didn't. So, yeah, but it was just on demand, reasonably priced, and it was all the rugby. It was like Six Nations, Rugby Championship, Super Rugby, Top 14, Premiership, Pro 14. Did I mention that? Champions Cup, Challenge Cup. It was just all the rugby. Women's Six Nations. It was just everything. It's all I wanted to pay for. I don't want the movies. I don't want the extra channels. Just give me the rugby on demand. Let me watch it a week later or the next morning. Yeah. Is that a Cooper's beer? It is a Cooper's beer. Saturday's game options. I need to think about it. I haven't quite decided yet. 30 points to 26. 15 minutes to go. Don't you have to declare YouTube earnings for taxes? Yes. Yes, you do. Preferred AAC at center. He had very versatile guy, man. He's like a bit like Franz Stain, that he could maybe not 10, but he could kind of play 10, not 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 11. He could play most of the back line. I've seen him tackle two guys at the same time. So, yeah. He did a bit of everything. I get Six Nations, Rugby Championship, Premiership, Top League, Pro 14 with my Rugby Pass sub. Yeah, I used to get on Rugby Pass from New Zealand with the VPN, but they've blocked all VPNs. So, which is funny because I used to, well, I met the guys from Rugby Pass when I was starting my YouTube channel. They approached me to ask if they could use my power rankings, and they did for like a year until they got bought by Sky. But they said they know people use VPN to get their content, and it's kind of like they just kind of turn a blind eye to it. But they were also pushing like the BBC to clamp down on VPNs because that was taking away their Six Nations money. So since Sky bought Rugby Pass, they eliminated the VPN thing totally. Top 7 video was good. Some of the points were great. Yeah, some of those were my ideas. Some of those were like ones from the comments, or I adapted them. So, I mean, somebody also mentioned, like, basically you got to get grassroots right, which is probably true as well. All that stuff's well and good. But if you don't get the grassroots right, it may not be for anything. But I feel like people within a whole generation have turned off from the game. Like, it's happened pretty quickly in Super Rugby. We used to get big crowds not that long ago. And those people haven't died off. They're just doing other stuff now. So I don't think it's like a whole generation of people that have not bought into the game. But you definitely need to get the grassroots stuff as well. Chiefs Wales game was good, but they don't have the full game on YouTube. Super Rugby's been putting all those games on YouTube, but they're like 40 minutes long. It's like a very extended highlights package. I kind of want a bit more. Like, this is kind of the minimum I want to watch. I was a bit outraged when I was in New Zealand for the World Cup Pacific. The Cake Tin, I found out they banned baggies within a mile of the stadium. Oh, bagpipes. I thought you said like baggies? What kind of baggies? I didn't know they did that, man. That's pretty shitty. You know, Richie McCaw plays the bagpipes. The guy's like world champion, captain, legend, flies helicopters, plays the bagpipes. I'm starting to think he's a bit of a dick. Like, he's making us all look bad, honestly. Crusaders have kicked the penalty. It's 30 points to 29. 67 minutes. Maybe another female game. Yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that for Saturday. I'll have a look. Either Black Ferns or maybe like Women's England, France or something. I don't know. Have a look. $50 baggies. That's where my mind went when I saw baggies, banned baggies within 50 meters of the stadium or something. It's like, yeah, they probably should ban that. James was confident at this point. A point behind, 12 minutes to go. Yeah, your money would probably be on the Crusaders at this point. You're running slow. Yeah, every like few minutes, my stream is stopping for 10 seconds. I don't know. Like, this stream is fine. I don't know what's going on with that one. It's weird. We'll be keen for under 20s game. God or Richie McCaw is scaling mountains and running miles for fun in his spare time. Yeah, what's wrong with him? Yep, he's a special fellow. Loads of ads. I've had a couple of ads, but just, I don't know why. It's not happened before, but the stream is very stuttery on my one. I'm plugged in, so usually I would just unplug and see if the Wi-Fi does any better, but I'm afraid it'll stuff this one up. France v Oz under 20s last year. Don't install ad blockers, man. That's going to hurt me. I haven't had one ad on my stream. It's been seamless. You're flexing. Sorry, yeah. Disable that when you watch my videos, man. Give me those 2 cents. Actually, I'm not allowed to encourage that behavior. I think that's against YouTube's terms of service. You're not allowed to encourage people to watch the ads. Maybe have a look at the American Rugby Championship. A couple of quality matches on YouTube, but not sure. A couple of matches on YouTube, but not sure about the quality. I'll have a look around. I've usually been letting people on Patreon vote, but I may make an executive decision for Saturday. I think I may just finish this off on my phone because it's getting too crazy on the telly. Game clock. Okay, I'm jumping on your Patreon, which I'm a bit lazy at joining, pushing for these matches. The voting thing I've been giving to everybody. So even if you join the $1 one, you get a vote. I've been trying not to push the Patreon thing too hard because I know like shitloads of people have lost their jobs and stuff. So it's kind of a tough time to be pushing that kind of thing. 75 on the game clock. All right, I'll skip forward a little bit. 73. 73 and a half. All right, I'm at 74.55. That's close enough. I'm nearly at the point we throw pillows at the screen. Whoa, Nadal on that wing. Go the Canes. Amos to ABC. How's it going? Tempted to boost my pledge, then I remembered my Rugby Pass payments resume next month. Yeah, Rugby Pass is like 100 and is it like 170 US dollars for the year? Rioters are burning Paris. Are you serious? Yeah, man, things are crazy right now. Oh, you pay by the month. I used to pay annually. First time I joined Rugby Pass, I got one of them deals they were having where it was quite a good discount. $20 a month. Not too bad in the scheme of things, I reckon. But more about that coming later. What about the MLL final from last year? Bro, is that online? If that is, let's do it. That could be a good one. Slades kicked the penalty. 75-41 on the clock for me. 1080p on my phone. That's beautiful. English Premiership clubs are back training. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the clubs are back, which is good news. I love this game because the Crusaders lose up the Chiefs. I'll admit, I was hoping the Waratahs would win this one because they'd never won it before. All right, I'll have to have a look for the MLR final or a sevens tournament. All right, maybe I'll let my Patreon people choose between sevens, women's, and MLR or something like that. That throw was terrible. What's Latu doing there? Protesters seem to be more passionate about American politics than the politics of their own country. We've had protests here as well, going up and down the streets, but all very peaceful, which is good. MLL final is online. Is it 1080p? Crossing my fingers, toes, and eyes for the task to score at this point. Yeah. We'll see if they can do it, man. Less than 3 minutes to go. 2.5 minutes. Bill almost lost his trousers. How much better was this Waratahs team? A lot better. Penalty. And it's Richie McCaw that gives it away. Oh, MLR YouTube page. Okay, I have to have a look. Now, I think the ref came back afterwards and said he didn't think it was a penalty. It's a long kick. He came through the gate. Are they going to even replay that, or are they just going to kind of skip it? Craig Shabir does not run from the pitch. He was moving after that Australia-Scotland game, I tell you. Oh. Done. They didn't replay it. No. He's lining it up. For just had the legs. Still 30 seconds to go, so it's not game over yet. Cheering for the Tars in my Blues jersey back in 2014. Got some death stares from some salty Crusaders fans. 15 seconds to go between the Waratahs and their first ever title. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. One more phase. 1,000 bucks says cha-ching. Game over. Well done. Well done, 2014 Tars. They finally broke that duck. Come on, look at what it means to them. They finally got it done. Look at that crowd. 60,000 people. You want a final to go down to the last minute at 1 point. Come on, it's beautiful, isn't it? What a win. Good for Aussie rugby, that moment. Surely the start of a long era for the Tars in Aussie rugby. Big Will says, up the mighty Tars. Yeah, surely at this point, it's going to be all happy days for the Tars. Cheers for that, Big Will. I would give you an actual cheers, but the beer is all done. But that was a good moment for the Tars, guys? If not one that was about to be repeated. So, yeah. Pretty hard to finish that on my phone, but good moment. My Tars mate was pretty pumped for that one. So, yeah. They did what they always do. They took the success instantly, dissecting teams, coaches, and trying to bottle the success at a high level and ruin everything. Yep. All right, fellas. I will pick a game for Saturday. Maybe I'll do a YouTube poll this time. I'll pick like MLR, women's, sevens, maybe something else. I'll have a look around and see what the options are. Maybe we'll go for something a bit left field for Saturday's stream. Could be a bit of fun. I have got a couple of, someone told me to buy Tennant's beer. So I bought the Coopers and I bought Tennant's. That's the Scottish beer, right? I bought a couple of cans of those at my local. So maybe something with a Scottish connection. I don't know. But yeah, YouTube poll I think might be the way to go. So yeah, all right. I'll let the people decide. I'll think of some options tomorrow, and I should chuck that poll up for Saturday's stream. And eventually we get live rugby. These historical streams may be on the way out, but either way, we'll see what happens, fellas. Vintage. I don't think people are going to vote vintage based on my my experience. As soon as I write that it's like 360p, people are done. But anyway, Scotland's greatest matches videos, 1 minute 12 seconds. Shots fired. Anyway, guys, have a good night, afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is where you guys are at. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Take care. See you.